today we're here with Jeff Graham of Automatic Distributors. And Jeff, you're the president, CEO. What is your exact... I didn't ask you that before.
You didn't, but president will work.
President will work? Okay. Not Grand Poobah or any of that, so just president. All right. And we've got Paul Davis here with Automatic Distributors, and he's new on the job recently, just started. So welcome, Paul and Jeff, to the MPN show, whatever we're calling this. But yeah, we're first we're really glad you guys came from halfway across the country, from New England and from Idaho, and to come visit us here at our Babcock's headquarters in Akron, Ohio. But first off, Jeff, let's maybe tell us a little bit about Automatic Distributors, the history of it. I know your dad founded it, right, in the late 60s or
middle 60s.
Middle 60s, okay.
Yeah, he was a Coca-Cola driver at the time, and he purchased this very small marina. He wanted to start a business for himself, and back in the mid 60s, 55 years ago, and grew it from there. He found that he had a marina in the wintertime in Maine. There wasn't much you could do. He had snowmobile business, but he couldn't get parts. He couldn't get parts. It took too long to get there. Back then, there was Pony Express. There wasn't UPS. and so he decided that he needed someone in New England who would distribute parts. At the time, there was no one there. So he began Twin City Distributors as a distributor, which grew into Automatic Distributors and grew to where we are today.
Where does the name Automatic, how does that,
Well, interestingly, while he had Twin City Distributors, he purchased Automatic Music, which was the arcade games back in the 90s, I guess, when they were really hot.
Oh, okay.
So he purchased Automatic Vending, which was a really hot business back then, and he wanted to put those together under one roof, so he changed it from Twin City Distributors to Automatic Distributors. Okay. Then he sold the Automatic Vending just before the crash of the arcades and did very well there. So that's where Automatic Distributors comes from.
Oh, okay. So, you changed in the mid-90s, it changed?
I think it was in the mid-90s. I don't recall exactly, but he did purchase Automatic Vending at the time, a small vending company. And made it Automatic Distributors just to keep the two synonymous with each other.
And I'm assuming you pretty much grew up in the, spent a lot of time in the family business. Was it really a family business at the time? Do you have brothers and sisters? Or
No, my sister was never really involved in it. I have one sister. She was never really involved in it. I was always involved with it in some form or manner. I started out when I was young in my teens, working in the shops, and I grew out of that. Then I went my separate ways, but I always worked behind the scenes. I always worked with my dad the whole time I've been alive. So even though I wasn't directly related, and I lived in Chicago for 30 years, I was indirectly related. So and then he decided in around 2010 that he wanted to move on. He was getting older. He wanted to retire, and I moved back from Chicago to Maine to take over.
To take over, right.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it is a family business passed down to me, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. And Paul, we'll go back to this a little bit, but Paul, you're new here with Automatic. What is your role exactly, and what do you think so far?
So I started earlier this year as their director in sales and marketing, and it's been great. Honestly, I really feel like I found a home, and I get along with Jeff and John, who's a big part of it as well. Great team. It's been awesome. I've been having a great time. So it's really been a good year considering all the bad things that can happen this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2020, so that's all you got to say. We'll look back on this time, I think, and be like, what the heck happened?
I most certainly don't have anything to complain about.
Yeah.
Like having fun.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is a business of fun, like we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely.
So with the current, let's go back to the, what we're talking about, the pandemic and the 2020 and this whole COVID-19 situation. How did that affect you guys in the at the very beginning, and what kind of things were you guys doing and to deal with that? Did you guys shut down at all, or did you?
No, we never shut down. Being an essential business, we never closed. But when it first hit, I think we did what probably everybody in the country did. We just put a stop to everything, stopped purchasing, stopped everything, not knowing what the future was going to behold. But very quickly after that, it became known very quickly that this was going to be a rapid increase and not a decrease for this industry. And so we then regrouped and started finding out how are we going to make everything continue to work the way we've done for many, many years. So we were fortunate enough that we had put in infrastructure in place prior to this for our growth that helped us greatly to stay on par. We never were late shipping. We never were late doing anything. Everybody from our offices went to the warehouses to help out. And so really, I'm really been very proud of our employees. They've all been right on there.
Up.
Yep. Everybody stepped up. We took everybody, every purchaser, every sales guy that was local, everybody went to warehouses to help. And we've been able to maintain our consistent service level throughout the entire pandemic.
Oh, wow. Now, are you guys did you mask up and do the social distancing and all that stuff?
We did. It's changed quite a bit. Just as it has for everybody. We masked up. We brought in, we were doing temperature checks. We were doing everything that was recommended by CDC. Yeah. And we still do that now, more of a random than an everyday thing. Oh, right. And we've had some effects of it. We've had employees out, so we've had to overcome that. And again, we do that by everybody stepping in and help. As a smaller company, it's a real big family team effort. So, we all just did what was needed to be done.
Wear
to get the job done.
Multiple hats, so you got a lot of people that probably know how to do multiple kind of things, and
they do. They, including myself.
Yeah.
So
we wear many hats.
I'm right out. Yeah, exactly.
Even though Paul's got the hat today,
I'm a lead by example guy. So I'm right out there in the front line with everybody else. I don't sit in an office and just direct what goes on. I'm right out there doing the same thing. If the warehouse needs assistance, I'm out there for it. Yeah. Whatever part of the company needs assistance, I'm there. So nothing's really below me, I guess.
Let's go back a little bit to you said you lived in Chicago for like 30 years or something and you were you have kind of an interesting interlude, I guess, between Powersports gigs.
I did. When I was in my early 20s, like a lot of kids and their dads, we bumped heads quite a bit. I had one direction I wanted to go. My dad wanted to go another direction. So at the time, we felt it was best to go our separate ways. At the time, I went and got a job locally in Maine for United Airlines, which eventually took me to Chicago. And being in the airline business, I eventually went into air traffic control. So I was an air traffic controller in Chicago at O'Hare, Midway, all the big airports for 20 years and retired out of that position in 2010, excuse me.
And that seems like, you always hear about air traffic controllers like they're just so stressed out. But you say you're kind of a laid back guy.
I am laid back, and this job is a lot more stressful than air traffic control. So, so there's a lot more stress in this position than in that position for me.
Yeah, and you're the guy on the handling all the buttons. Not that you weren't in air traffic control. You're looking at dots, going, hey, try not to hit each other, right?
True, and it does create some problems because in air traffic control, you're like the policeman of the sky. When you tell somebody to do something, they don't get a chance to say no. They do what you tell them to do.
They do what you tell them.
So it does cause a little bit of problem with relationships, even at businesses sometimes, because when you tell someone to jump, they don't jump when you're not in the air traffic control world. So it's a little bit different, but
you didn't move fast enough.
Exactly.
What's going on there?
Exactly, but I think it gave me a really good training of how to handle business, how to handle everything. It gives you a scanning and organization that you wouldn't have without going through it. So it was a huge benefit to me.
You said you really enjoyed it. I
did really enjoy it. Yeah. I'm not really a stressful guy, and so I was able to handle it with no problem. It as I say, it gave me a lot of just scanning and a lot of benefits, a lot of training I never would have had. So it was very beneficial to the job I do now.
You mentioned you're kind of a more behind the scene. You like to be, not the forefront or to be highlighted a lot, but you're more behind the scenes and techie guy. How did that help you a lot during this time, that we're going through right now? And
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
we did a very good job, and I am a very big logistics guy, a very big black and white, and that's part of my air traffic training as well. It's how I'm a can-do type guy. I'm gonna make this work, and,
Right.
Not everybody can do that, but yeah, I'm a logistics. I know how to put things in place. I know how to change procedures rapidly so that we don't have any deficiencies to our customers or our vendors.
Right.
And so yeah, it helped me tremendously, and I am a back office guy. I'm not up front like some CEOs are. I'm not that's what I have this guy for, the sales and marketing. That's not my forte. I'm very much into the logistics side of the business.
Yeah, but which is a big part of this.
It's a huge part of the business.
That's like,
huge.
Yeah. Really the name of the game. The dealer wants to know, where's my part?
They do.
I'm not really into logistics. You can't
getting,
really do that.
Getting the right part is obviously important, but getting it there and getting it there on time is also important. And that takes a lot of orchestrated systems to get everything to work just right.
I mean, a lot of stuff
today
has
where everything
changed.
needs to be there tomorrow.
I mean, when your dad started in the mid '60s and everything, I mean, you had Pony Express. When you were sending stuff out through, be like, oh, it'll be there next week, and
exactly. Exactly, and as we all know, everybody wants everything yesterday. They'd like to have it teleported to them as soon as they hang up the phone or as soon as they push the button.
Print that
exactly, well, that's coming. It's somewhere in the future. I don't know where.
Yeah, you guys will probably be right there.
We will be, because if it's breaking technology, we're usually on top of it. We have a lot of technology in the company that allows us to put everything together as we do.
Yeah, and that's I mean that's the thing. You're kind of a part. As much as providing parts and distribution, you're kind of a technology company in a sense.
All companies are technology companies.
Oh, yeah.
And Babcock's is a technology company now. Everybody's
now
moved in that direction. And
Yeah.
I'm very much into IT, into logistics, but those are what runs every company out there, from your Target to your Netflix to everybody. It's the technology, automation. It's what makes the wheel turn really well.
Yeah. So is that some of the, Paul, with you, I mean, have you seen a lot of changes how long have you been in the industry, by the way? You've been for a while, right?
Yeah, I've been for a while. Done quite a bit of things. I really like, being on this team, especially like he said, he is kind of a back office guy, which is great because it allows me to do my job.
Right. It lets you do your thing.
It lets me do the thing. We move forward with things. We have great conversations. There's no competition. We round table really well.
Yeah.
Crazy times right now for sure.
Right.
I mean, just rapid change, almost instant.
Well, I think that's kind of the change. They said that everything's going to be. It's just going to fast forward everything in the industry and all the business. What may have worked pre-COVID is going to be. It's like totally different now. And dealers, have you seen that with dealers? Both of you guys. Working differently. I mean, I know obviously because of people have taken different approaches or dealerships.
Well, like Jeff said, there was a lot of people who kind of pumped the brakes because it was like, what's going to happen?
Right.
And then it didn't stop.
Yeah.
People had time on their hands and projects to work on, and then it just turned on really fast. So, I think that Automatic is, the agility of the company was able to adapt really fast, which has been, I think, a really big part of the success. But I think that there's still dealerships still trying to adapt with that. And obviously, as our partners, we're hoping and we're there to help as much as we can in the transition. And I mean, that's this whole process, right?
Right, absolutely. You say you've been to like almost all the you've been to so many dealerships, and you've seen all different types of dealers.
Small repair shops to, big OEMs, big aftermarkets. Got quite a few friends throughout the country, big dealerships. I mean, obviously, we hope everybody's making it okay, and that's like our whole goal is to try, because like I said, they're our partners. We're trying to make sure that we're there for them, to make sure that they're able to take care of the consumer.
What do you think, for brick and mortar guys, for the dealers that are, still, working out of their, their shops and their building, and as you see things moving more online, is there a way that dealers can continue to be competitive with some online? Do they need to join some online, be more into e-commerce themselves, or is it?
Probably, I think Jeff and I would answer this question a little bit differently, but I think this is a good reason, because I'm from Idaho, Obviously, he's from Maine, and those are complete different sides of the country, obviously, and they
Yeah.
function way different. Like Idaho's fairly open right now, so dealerships are, brick and mortars are flourishing for the most part.
Right.
I mean, I think different pockets of the country, brick and mortars will struggle a little bit more than others. It just depends on, what the state is mandating everybody do.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think at the end of the day, what COVID has done for all of us is realize that it's pushing forward like technology. I don't think that means brick and mortar is dead.
No.
I just think that we all have to adapt in some sort of way, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's slingshotting us forward into realizing, all right, you got to have your thumb on the pulse. You can't just be stagnant and staying like, okay, we're okay with where
doing
it's at
things
right
the
now.
same way.
Yeah.
What's that saying? Keep doing things the same way. You
gotta be looking
keep
ahead.
getting the same results. If
You got to be
you got
looking
to
ahead.
change.
I think if you do it the same way, you're going to be getting less results.
Yeah.
You need to evolve. You've just got to evolve. The old statement I hate is, we've done it this way for 30 years. Why can't we leave this alone? You can't. You've got to evolve.
Yeah.
And dealerships, we work with our dealerships all the time, giving them ideas and trying to find out what can they do. I mean, they have to sit down, put their business plans together, or reorganize their business plans based on the futures, because COVID is going to end sometime.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Well,
And when it does, are we going to be prepared? We're already looking ahead a year of what needs to be done in our business and what needs to be done in the industry. And,
Yeah.
it's changing everybody's lifestyle forever. So everybody needs to sit down and put their business plans back together and determine how are they going to best be handling this.
I think that's good.
So we think outside the box, and we're always trying to think of ideas to help the customers out, help all our dealer network out.
Yeah, I think that's a good point right now. Is that you're almost at a point where you have to really refocus on your business plan as far as what you're going to do going forward, and
You absolutely
and keep
do.
looking enough ahead to get ahead of whatever comes next.
And nobody knows what direction this is all
I mean,
going.
it's
So
killer.
you've got to have
What
some
is it?
plans.
Killer Hornets or next? I mean, did we
No,
miss that one?
I feel like we missed the killer hornets.
Yeah, we missed the Killer Hornets. Yeah, I mean, we had some pretty big ones by us, but I don't know if they were Killer Hornets. So
They got like a couple minutes to shine. And
Yeah,
COVID
they
came
did.
to crush them.
right, right. Yeah. Well, let's go as far as like your your product portfolios and your product line and all that. What is big right now for you guys, and as far as like what are you leaning a lot more in parts and accessories? Is it PG&A? What's popular in your
What's not?
Yeah.
I suppose supply
Yeah,
and
well,
demand
yeah.
is crazy right now. I mean, the one good thing though is with people being home and having extra time is they've dusted off the old motorcycle and they're fixing
Fixing them?
things right now. So
Right.
that's huge, and obviously that's great for aftermarket, right?
Yeah.
So that's been huge. I mean, for the most part right now, everything is booming. I don't know anything that's not.
Right.
If you're putting forth any little bit of effort in the power sports industry, it's doing well.
A lot of the pre-owned, I mean, I go on, I'm like a Craigslist surfer, like I just go in there and daydream sometime, like, maybe I could buy this. But I've noticed that a lot of the pre-owned stuff it's just almost non-existent. And
can't-
it's all been bought up,
It's almost in every industry.
And if you
outdoors,
want,
boats,
yeah, right.
Recreational vehicles, trailers, all of that. You can't find anything because
Yeah.
people want to be the whole social distancing and away from everything. They want to be outdoors doing stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're desperate to get out of the house. They'll do anything to get out of the house.
Oh,
And there's so
yeah.
little that you can do that this is a perfect social distancing sport.
It is. I mean, that's the thing. And I think it's allowed people to rediscover the sport, or even the new riders finding it for the first time that are just like, where was this all this time? Well, it's been right here. They said like off-road is up like 50% this year, and that and other segment pretty much across the board have all been up. So have you guys felt that, that seen some of those kind of trends as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen obviously huge increases in volume, and as I say, we rapidly have evolved to take care of that volume. It's hard for a company to take a 50, 100% increase in volume and be able to handle that with no blips, but we were able to do it. We're still able to do it.
Yeah.
What tomorrow's going to behold, you never know. But right now, we're capable of handling everything, and we don't see any problems in the future. The biggest problem is probably vendor. Getting product.
Getting
right
product from is that because of the COVID, or do you think any of the tariff situations have hurt it, or is it?
I don't know if the tariffs have hurt it, but certainly we're well aware in this industry. A lot comes over from Asia, and that's difficult right now. There's roadblocks all along the line. Everybody's busy there. Purchase orders are flying in faster than they can make the product. So it's happening everywhere. It's happening to our vendors that are located in the United States. They're purchasing from overseas. We're purchasing from overseas.
They're getting their raw goods in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's what used to be lead times of 2 to 4 weeks and now 2 to 4 months. It's just the vendors are so backlogged.
Yeah.
It seems to be coming out of that a little bit, but still, Asia boats are full, trains are full, planes, trains, automobiles. You can't seem to get anything to move right now. So that's hurting our fill rates. We have just been devastated by the delays of this product coming in.
Right.
And we're working every day on it, and we're making good success. We're making good progress at it.
But you say, you're logistically, you've been able to keep everything flowing to the customers. And
we can logistically do it if we can get it. And right now the vendors are struggling.
I mean, I've heard that across the board in several industries that it's just like it is
happening across the board.
Yeah. So, and with your you have a warehouse in Maine, obviously in Bangor, and you have one in Indy. Are they, and you kind of go back and forth with do you fly back and forth to both?
I do. I travel quite a bit. I travel to customers. I travel not so much lately, but I do travel between facilities. I travel to vendors. I travel to warehouses. I'm out there and all the time meeting customers or meeting vendors. And I try to fly between our warehouses quite frequently. Travel between them. Indianapolis is an important warehouse for us. It's able to serve 75% of the country in 2 days or less. Yeah. So it's a key metric for us. And then Maine, obviously, is where it started. That's our corporate offices.
Right. And being able to service that Northeast corridor and all that, that's pretty big. Well, which you can probably go, Ohio, whatever that line is, Pennsylvania, and then you got Indy to kind of fill in all that, and in the center. So.
It does. It's putting warehouses in strategic locations, and Indianapolis is certainly one of the most strategic for the eastern half of the United States, or eastern 2/3 of the United States.
Just to segue a little bit, but we want to talk about where you guys started was in the snowmobile segment. What do you see with snowmobiles this year, and how is that? How does the snow? We do cover snowmobiles, obviously, but that segment, they have a little different kind of fill rate, I guess, is the way they, the people buy them like the year before almost. So the way the sleds come out and everything, you're kind of having to take a flyer on what the weather might be the following year. Is that kind of what you guys see?
That's honestly, it's always a gamble. I mean, I think anybody in the snow industry knows that. The product goes out, right, and everybody pre-purchases everything, in anticipation of when that, snow hits. Snow season typically kicks off haydays, which is, a bummer that didn't happen. That's a fun event,
right.
But pray for snow.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about it all day, but we really don't know.
You just need, you don't know, and
we
you could get Snowmageddon or whatever we had a few years ago.
Which I'm hearing we're supposed to have again. And honestly, I've seen some Instagram posts and stuff of some flurries happening even out west.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I think you're going to see the same dynamics happen that have happened to ATVs and streets and jet skis, is now they've got the snowmobiles sitting in the sheds that they want to fix up for this winter. And I envision that we're going to have some supply line problems as that also increases at 50%, which wasn't predicted back in March and April. So
true.
Even that product is not going to be available because it takes too long to build and get it, and the season is so short. So we're expecting just a huge increase in that business just as well.
And a lot of it, too, with the OEMs not only have other people shut down, but a lot of OEMs have shut their lines down to where they're just not, I was talking to somebody the other day. They were like, the 2020 model line is probably going to be a collector's item because there's so few of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, the OEMs are ramping back up now, and that's only making this supply chain even worse because now they're coming into already a very limited amount of product and taking what they can as well.
Yeah.
And that's also delaying delivery of full units because they can't get
all the
pieces that they need.
and parts they need and the raw materials.
It only takes one item, and they're behind, and right now they're struggling as well. That's what we hear from our dealerships is they can't get units because they don't have the availability of the raw materials they need.
Right. So 2021 is going to be probably as limited supply in a lot of ways as
I think we'll see some limitations.
Yeah, but I guess in certain ways, though, the supply and demand, you get that demand and interest. We'll find a way to fill the need, I guess.
Oh, they'll find a way. I mean, we'll be working on it, and everybody will find a way.
Yeah. Talk about some of your house brands that you have. I know the Automatic. You carry a wide range of a product line, right? That
we share a lot of brands with our competitors and things like that. Right now, Titanium is shining for us. Katahdin, Enforcer, and we're continuing to grow and build those.
And Titanium is your axle product line, the CB
some batteries
line,
and things.
Batteries.
And
okay.
Yeah, we continue to add products to that line all the time.
Oh, okay, great.
Katahdin's been around a little longer. I think Jeff obviously has a better knowledge base on that than I do, with me being so
new guy.
Game.
You're the new guy. Yeah.
But I do have I have a lot of history in apparel, so I get it. I understand it. I do like the gear. It's very technical. There's a lot of success with it already. So, but like I said, Jeff knows more about the history because I think that's a little bit closer to home for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad started it way back, and I remember him throwing clothes into his car and driving around and selling them to dealers. I mean, that was a passion of his. He loved to go out, and that was what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Totally different than what I want to do. I'm kind of a back office. He's kind of a front office, and we kind of complemented each other that way.
Right.
He'd just toss these stuff into a truck, and off he'd go and visit dealers.
Was your dad he was kind of a natural sales guy?
He was.
In that,
Yep.
Yeah.
A big sales guy. Could sell just about anything. Did a very good job, and he made some wheels and deals, and that was a passion. His clothing. That was something he loved, and so he worked on.
It's interesting in that generation, though. I mean, you've got he was around the same time, like Fred Fox and
Roger Marshall.
Roger Marshall and Schumacher's father-in-law.
Ironically, they all kind of started approximately the same time, mid-'60s. And serve those needs regionally back then. It was all regional.
Yeah.
That's what started my dad. It was regional. There was nothing in New England. Marshall's was in Michigan, but there was nobody in New England. And now, obviously, with the changes in technology, now everybody's a nationwide distributor, really.
Right.
There's really no regional distributors left.
Right. Yeah, I think Marshall was probably one of the last ones that, I mean, did you ever think you would be around as long as this? I mean, when you back in the day, as far as going forward and
I think we've always felt that we'd be around, we'd always grow because of our dedication to our customer base. I mean, we work with everybody closely. Our customers are like family to us. So I believe that. I think we always felt we'd be around, we'd always be strong and growing, and that's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of
everyone wants to go back to normal, but I'm kind of wondering what is normal going to look like?
What is the new normal?
Yeah, what
Absolutely.
is the new normal?
What is the new normal?
Even when they say you can go back to normal, I mean, that would mean everyone would have to be vaccinated and whatever would have to work. I still am kind of questioning, are we going to really go back to that way, or are we going to still kind of work in a little bit more, remotely and especially with buying stuff. I think that people have learned you can still buy from your local dealer. You can still buy food from a restaurant and have it delivered by DoorDash. You can still buy stuff and have them, go on their website and have them set it out for you so it's contactless or whatever you want to do. But maybe it's eliminated some of the there's some people that like going into the dealer and talking and kind of hanging out there, and there's others that just want to go in and get their stuff and go,
I think that COVID has forced people to change that didn't want to change. A lot of us were shopping on Amazon, but there were a lot that weren't also.
Right.
Now they've been forced to do it, and they say, this isn't so bad. This is kind of, or forced to order DoorDash. And
Yeah.
it's kind of ironic. All these companies were starting up, the DoorDash and the Ubers and the Lyfts
Right.
and all this stuff prior to this, because now it's used heavily. Curbside pickup is huge in every industry, whether it be our industry or Target. This is where I say dealers need to evolve. They're going to need to sit down and look at the world as it is today whenever we exit this COVID and figure out, how am I going to compete in today's world? Because it's possible.
Right.
You've got to work to it. It isn't going to be easy, but it is possible.
Well, and on, just to add to that a little bit on like kind of our point to that, like he says, dealers do need to evolve, and that's absolutely true. But we see that as well. So where we need to evolve is making sure that the information we provide to them allows them to do so, right?
Right,
And
to make it easier. Your job is to make it easy for them to do business.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's a partnership, right?
Yeah.
It's it's not a quick sale with a dealership. It's this relationship, and you really have to be there.
You think it's relationship, or is it technology? Legit? Is it a little bit of everything?
It's a little bit of everything.
I mean, you have to hit all the marks, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody's got to make money to keep the lights on.
Right.
But I think, technology and relationship is huge.
Probably starts with the relationship in a lot of ways. I think.
Well, trust has to come from somewhere.
Yeah, they gotta.
Yeah, you got to build the trust, and we're constantly communicating with dealers. What can we do to help you out? We constantly are asking, what can we do to make your job easier and make your business more profitable for you? And generally, we accept most of those suggestions and put them into place if we can, if they're not wildly crazy.
Right.
Generally, we're pretty good at
so you guys will take
responding
their suggestions and make changes,
Exactly.
not only helping them, but you may suggest things like, hey, if you change this, we've seen this work, but they'll say, hey, if you change this, about your process, it'll help us better. So.
Yeah, it's the trust, it's the relationship,
Yeah.
but it's also the ease of doing business with your distributor, or the ease of doing how easy is it? Because my time is limited. How fast can I get this task done to get this product I need for my customer?
Right.
And it's all built together. It's all a package.
You have to take their consideration. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just assume that you know what's best all the time. Collaboration is probably the best thing. And why not listen to the people who are buying product from you, right? What they're seeing, because we have the people on staff that notice patterns that maybe a dealership might not, but based on the information they're giving us from multiple dealerships,
you can kind of recognize a trend happening, what works. This guy's killing it over here.
We have some really strong IT guys. They're brilliant. They're super fun guys. Like, I like them a lot, but I can tell their wheels are turning.
Yeah.
And they're always wanting. We've got a guy, his name's Joey, and he's fantastic. He's always trying to find the best way to do something based on the information he's given. It's really great. It's awesome. So our whole team is always trying, even from our ITs, is really focused on how we can be better for the dealership.
Right.
And that's because that's our job.
Yeah.
So
that's your big goal. That's your B2B company. So that is.
I do miss going into dealerships though, because I am that guy.
Yeah.
I like to look at cool toys. Like, who doesn't?
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, I end up buying.
You would buy everything.
I do buy everything. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But I like to have fun. And especially being in this industry, I got dirt bikes. I've been a street bike rider a really long time.
Yeah.
I just last fall bought a Harley Street Glide, which I'm stoked on.
Yeah. Have you ever had a Harley before?
No, I never have.
Okay.
I've ridden them plenty, but I've never.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be able to speak to it, right? Because people know.
You got to be authentic.
Yeah,
you want to be able to ride it and know what
I like to say that it's me being authentic, when realistically, honestly, I just want to have fun. And then the perk is
it's like, I got to do this for my job, yeah.
But it's been great, the missus likes it. It's not uncomfortable like a street bike, but I love the speakers just literally ripping my face off. It's loud, it's big, it's comfortable, it's fun.
So how do you keep your sales team engaged with your brands and moving products? Is there a secret sauce? Do you have any? And maybe that's probably, you're the sales manager. So,
honestly, it's not hard. It's a pretty basic concept, communication.
Yeah.
And
you guys seem to have that down
we have a great team.
Remote.
We have a great team. Got a lot of great guys across the country, and I'm on the phone with them all the time, all day, every day. And we're having a good time. And it's taken me a few months to get to know him a little bit.
Yeah.
We're definitely firing on all cylinders. I have a blast with him. But with him being the back end guy, he's making sure that I have the tools to make sure that we can get this stuff out to our dealers.
Right.
Our dealers.
To your sales guys, your reps.
It's really not hard. We've got a lot of back end systems that are in place that are really good. and he's always advancing that forward. But it's not difficult, right? You got to put the effort forward. So
right.
They have the information that they need. They get it from me. They call me.
You get them fired up. You gotta
we have
like
fun
the rah-rah
conversations.
kinda,
Like I got a lot of fun guys. We honestly, like I said, it's fun, right? We're working, right? But we're also just laughing at all the stuff that we kind of, because you
encounter day to day.
We're all so similar in the things that we do. Some are moto guys, some are not. So some like to ride mountain bikes. Just getting to know every individual person, but it's just communication.
How important is it, do you think, for your sales team to be, into this, like, to ride themselves? And
I think that all of them know how important that is, because they spend their time taking care of dealerships. And I think, as you know, that a dealership can spot somebody who's not authentic.
Right.
And you have to have the knowledge to walk into a dealership and sell, and all of my guys do. They really do. They've been in the industry for a long time. Some of them have worked for other distributors, other independent brands, things like that. So they know. Yeah. They know.
And they know the brands. They know
it's a small enough industry that everybody kind of knows each other for the most part. So, they know exactly what they're doing. Yeah.
Now, you guys have talked about, some of your customer service. That's kind of your strong suit. Do you think that is that – how do you build your relationships with dealers, and is customer service kind of the main thing? I mean, if you guys sell kind of similar brands as everybody, what kind of makes you unique?
I think we both can kind of chime in on this a little bit, because, like I said, with me being, I've only been here since earlier this year. Jeff has built this foundation, right? I've just came in to be like, I know what I do, right? And it's all the communication and being there and making sure you're building the relationships. But I know Jeff has put a lot of effort into the service end of this.
I'm a huge customer service guy. It's my focus, because I think that's what customers are looking for, is the service. It's the service that builds the relationships. That again, it's going out talking to customers, asking them what they want versus just giving them whatever you think they want. Yeah, and service and making sure we're responding rapidly. I mean, I'm very big on assuring that customers are satisfied with our service
and have the communication probably with them so that you can.
Well, we talk about quite a bit as well, given his traffic control history and whatnot, is like we give an answer no matter what, instead of leaving somebody hanging, because we always talk about
he's got to land the plane. I mean, that's the thing.
When you're sitting in an airplane, right, and you're stuck and you're getting upset because no one's talking to you. Now, you might not like the information that you hear. Yeah. Whether it's going to be an hour you're stuck on that plane, but you at least know what's going on. So at the end of the day, I think it's being honest, because honesty is the best policy. And it doesn't, no matter what, I think it can be respected whether you like it or not. And it's just better that way instead of
So, you sleep better at night with that. That's for
we
sure.
make mistakes like everybody. I think the key to this is how do you recover from the mistake?
What do you do after the mistake?
Exactly, because we're going to have errors. Everybody's going to have them. We do have errors. We have shipping errors. We have whatever. They're very low in quantity, but what do we do to fix it? That's the real key. Yeah. Because you've got a customer that's not happy, and what can you do to satisfy him? And we spend a lot of time and effort doing that. So customer service is what we built the company on. It's still a family type company, and we still do that today. We consider all our dealers part of the family. So.
Yeah. Sometimes everybody makes mistakes, and when you make a mistake, you got to own it. You got to own it, move on, and try to fix it. Right. It's how you handle the problem.
Right. When they make a mistake, that's it, at the same time, you still have to handle it in a way that it's good for everybody.
Everyone is going to make mistakes. Yeah. Everybody is. I mean, just kind of what it is.
It's kind of human nature, let's talk about, what do you think next year will look like for the industry? Let's say COVID, there's a vaccine in, January, February. Do you think the industry, the gains that we've had this year, as far as new ridership and a lot of growth, especially in off-road, do you see that building and maintaining, or do you think we kind of drop back down if there's a vaccine?
I personally don't think we'll drop back down, but I do think we'll plateau. I think, as you said earlier, it's a newfound sport for a lot of folks, or it's a refresh sport, right? And now they've thought about it and they haven't done it. And I kind of enjoyed that. So it may plateau as other entertainment opportunities open back up. Right. But I don't see it going down per se.
Okay.
I
Which
don't
I
know
think,
what
no,
Paul
I completely agree. I was literally thinking the same thing. I am one of those people, right? I've been in the industry long enough that most people will tell you that you get in the industry because you like it, right? But then you don't have the time to ride.
Yeah.
So I took the time to ride earlier this year a lot more and kind of reconnect with it, which has been great. So I've been putting forth more effort and just
You kind of reaffirm why you like being in this industry.
But I think a lot
why
of
you
people
like-
did that.
Yeah.
And I think
I
people
think
are
that's
still
true.
doing it. And I think that's what we're going to see, with snowmobiles.
Yeah.
And then it's just going to completely repeat. I mean, everything is booming right now. So, like I said, it's our job to keep it going, keep people interested.
Well, thank you, Jeff and Paul, for coming in today, and we've really appreciated having you here.
Thanks for having us.
Visiting us for sure, and we will hopefully get to see your place here sometime soon, and we'll have you back again.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks very much.